Happy Monday, lots of things to talk about. We're going to have a little fun on the show today. We have Charvarius Ward on the program. Questions for Mooney. Hit me up at Up and Adam Show. We'll talk. I mean, he's in a contract year. What's that like? He's facing the Jets and Sauce Gardner week 1. What's that like? We'll talk to him. We have Sean Alexander on the show, just an absolute monster at his position. Will we go back in time, maybe show you some footage? Sure, absolutely. Talk a little Hall of Fame with him, talk a little Seahawks with him, of course. And then what is this mailbag thing? So I'm getting questions from y'all. Appropriate, ask Kay anything in parentheses appropriate. Sounds good. Let's go. It's the off season. We've had that song, that intro song for this show for a year and a half, and I'm not sick of it, Eric.
I'm not either.
I don't mind it. It was quite a process to get that cleared. You were not on our show yet.
No.
It was last minute. I believe we were like DMing the creator DJ. I forget what his name is. I have to think of that. But it was a whole to-do. You know, like Up and Adams wasn't even named until like 24 hours before the show started.
I heard this story.
Yeah, it was the Kay Adams Show for a long time. I think we also called it... The Upside was one of them, because I wanted it to be like happy, sunny side up, like whatever, and all of that. Cool Wisconsin sweatshirt, bro.
Thank you.
Let's see that bad boy.
That's the nice. The license plate of Wisconsin.
Nothing
right here.
Screams fudge and Noah's Ark and
Mars's Cheese Castle.
Yes, Wisconsin Dells, quite like that. Why do you think Oval Office hasn't sent me swag yet? Is there no merch for Oval Office in the greater Green Bay area?
That seems like a question for the people of Wisconsin.
Why don't you get on that, Wisconsin? Why don't y'all send me something? I have a Piggly Wiggly shirt. I have all sorts of things.
Shop the pig?
That's just one of my unanswered questions. Shall we delve in?
Shall we dive in?
Let's go.
Dive in.
Up and Adam Show on a Monday. We've got Sean Alexander on the show, Charvarius Ward on the program as well. So we are an NFC-based heavy show today. We tackled the AFC last week. It's the NFC's turn, and we're going to start with the West. All 4 teams among the 21 that start the next phase of their OTAs today, by the way. So let's take a look at the odds for the division. We love being partnered with FanDuel Sportsbook, the #1 sportsbook, baby. And if you see here, the Niners, the heavy faves, at -195, followed by the Rams at +330, Seahawks at +750. Oh, we love a long shot. David Goliath here. Kyler Murray, what you got? Cardinals sitting there pretty at +1200. Ooh, I kind of like that. I can't wait to talk to Charvarius Ward about that. Is he pretty good against the Niners? Or against the Cardinals?
Oh, he owns the Cardinals. He owns the Bird's Nest.
Yeah, he likes that matchup. Does he like facing them more or DK Metcalf more?
Oof.
It's a good question.
It's a good question.
Good question. Let's ask him
What's
that.
the question, though?
Okay, fine. God damn. It's a Monday.
What's the question about these Niners?
What did you throw at me?
They're little mini footballs today, Kay. There you go.
Oh, that's kind of
touchdown.
Not so bad. Let's see. Can I just catch one?
There
oh my God.
Come on, Kay.
Oh my gosh. We're going to start with the San Francisco 49ers. Are they the faves? How favy should they be? My real question for them is what has been called like 99% of the pie or something outrageous like that, the mental of it. What's going on between the ears of this Niners squad after what happened in Super Bowl 58? And not long after what happened in a couple Super Bowls before that. I feel like it's got to take something out of you up here, and it's got to take something in here. I don't even know, like in your aura, saging, Aya, whatever you want to call it, to get it done and make sure that that doesn't happen again. This is time number 3 that Kyle Shanahan's been a part of a Super Bowl loss, in which his team led in the 4th quarter. That is jilting. That is a jilting like no other. The second time for a lot of these Niner stars, like Bosa, Kittle, and Debo. So it's hard to pull yourself up off the mat mentally. It's hard to capture what you had the season before and keep the chemistry after losing in that fashion. I asked Debo back in March if coming so close, if playing in 4 NFC championship games in 5 years without a Lombardi to show for it has shaken his faith at all, and here was his answer.
Nah, not at all. Because, I mean, if you look at it, we still got, 95% of the guys that's coming back. And, I got all the faith in the world in this team that we have. It's cool and all, 4 out of 5 NFC championships, making 2 Super Bowls. That's all cool and fine and dandy, but it's not cool when you're not the team at the end of the year holding Lombardi. So everybody on this team has one goal, and I hope we sit out and we get it done.
Okay, that makes me feel good. His faith isn't shaken, right? If Debo is one thing, he is honest. He is honest and direct, and he is right because you got pretty much everybody coming back. You can argue they're honestly even stronger on paper now than they were in the Super Bowl. They get Hufanga back from injury. We missed him. Ricky Pearsall and Leonard Floyd, he who gets to face Aaron Rodgers, who destroyed Aaron Rodgers' year 4 snaps in. And that was a quiet move that now everybody's talking about in free agency. So we'll see. The biggest move, I think, obviously, the DC change, right? You go from Steve Wilkes to Nick Sorensen, new assistant head coach, Brandon Staley, a downward dog in his way into the whole mix here. We'll see if he can help as well. I hope we can see these Niners find a way to use what happened as a positive, as the best do, right? The best use those bad things to fuel them and not sink them this year. And I don't think it will. Is Hamilton around? Hamilton, if he's around, that kind of felt heavy lifty to me. That kind of felt like, I feel like they're going to be right the F back in there. Don't you?
I do too. I think there's just so much talent there, and I expect a response from this group. I don't think they're going to pack it in, or, that mental aspect is going to be too much for them. I think they know what time it is. They know this might be the best shot they have in this window before they have to make those decisions with contracts like a Brandon Ayuk. So, I expect them to be right back in that mix again for sure.
What's your biggest question about the Niners, if you're being dead honest with me?
I think that is the only question, because I think on paper, you look at the roster, you look at the talent, you look at everything they have going for them. I don't have any doubts about the talent or that roster. I think, the expectation should be the Super Bowl once again.
So, Coach?
Those decisions in big moments, yeah. He's got to show he can, that he's going to make the right decisions in these big moments. And I think there's sometimes I'm interested to see the Staley aspect of it too, because I think there have been times where Shanahan hasn't been as aggressive on 4th downs. I wonder how much we know Brandon Staley's Mr. Aggressive. I wonder, how much that plays into it. And if we see Kyle get a little more aggressive at times, but we'll see.
I like that. What's your biggest question, guys, on the 49ers? Hit us up at Up and Adams Show. We've got Mooney on the program, so we'll be talking to him. He, of course, played with the Chiefs. He's here now. We've got lots of things to talk to him about. The next unanswered question, thanks, Hammy, for debuting there. He was not ready to come on camera, and I appreciate him as always. Hold on to your butts.
Rams, what's the
God.
question? Oh, sorry, Kay, that came in hot. All right, Rams question, what's the question? Hey!
Kat, what team are you on? Kat. Did I not ask you last week for a paintball gun, a taser, a blow dart, a tranquilizer, a super soaker? Like, where is the retaliation? You're just leaving me here and like I'm like a sitting duck.
Yeah, I almost feel like your brother. This is very one-sided at this point.
No, it literally is. Okay, next up, it's the LA Rams. Okay, LA Rams, my real question. Listen, they're coming off their awesome run to the playoffs last year. I feel like they were slept on last year. They're going to be explosive. That's not the question. They've got Stafford and Kyron and Kupp and Puka. The question is, can this defense without Aaron Donald still play up to snuff? What will they look like? How do they fill this hole? Listen, he's irreplaceable. No question. No one else out there like him. No one can replicate the production. This dude can single-handedly just disrupt an entire offense. But that being said, the Rams put in a lot of work this offseason to try to upgrade the defense, okay? They ranked 20th last year with Aaron Donald. So if you take a look, they draft some studs out of Florida State, Jared Verse, Braden Fisk with their first 2 picks, 2 athletic monsters. They were leaders on their defense, respectively, or like together. They were, beasts out there. So last year's 3rd rounder, Kobe Turner, he's expected to be full-time right now, racking up 9 sacks last year. And he only started a handful of games. They also add former All-Pro Trey White to the mix. If he can stay healthy, I mean, this entire secondary is going to be different from what LA ran out there in the playoff loss to Detroit, in Detroit. And speaking of Detroit, we're going to get a pretty good idea of how different this defense is right out the gates, because they get that playoff rematch beautifully done by Charlotte Carey and Mike North and company making the schedule. That is week 1 Sunday night football. That's prime time. Carrie Underwood's going to talk about you guys, not Aaron Donald, even though they're probably going to talk about Aaron Donald like 95% of the time and how he's not going to be there. What do you got, defense? they flew under the radar. Even the offseason flew out, even making draft picks, which they never do, they flew under the radar. So I'm impressed by what McVay and Snead have done sneakily to make the team better. And my mini question within the question about the defense is how much can they push? Can they push the Niners atop the division this year? They've got, what is it, plus 3,200 to win the Super Bowl. I don't know if I'm taking them. I don't know if I'm doing all that, but would I be surprised? What is it? Plus 330 to win the NFC West? All right, I like that. I don't hate that. Let's go with the Seahawks here. Next up, Seattle.
What's the question?
I hate this game. No, like I'm over it. Unless I have some sort of, no, I'm kidding. He puts the basket away like, okay.
I'm a guilty Catholic, Kay.
Oh, man. I don't know, can you say that anymore? I don't know if you can say that.
I don't even know. All right, moving on.
Seattle.
Oval Office.
A lot of questions. I would say, like, if I was to do like a power ranking of most mysterious teams in the NFL, they're top 5 for me. They're a mystery. My one question to hone in on this Monday is, what is the identity of the team going to be? A very broad question, but listen, feel me out here. Mike McDonald's new head coach calling the defense. Okay. Safe to assume he's going to be aggressive. He's going to be attacking, as we saw him utilize and roll out that style in Baltimore. It should be fun to watch. He's got guys like Devin Witherspoon at his disposal. I'm into it, okay? The offense, big question. Pete Carroll, what were you going to do? Establish the run. That's it. Over the course, people, of Pete Carroll's 14-year run as head coach, the Seahawks ran the ball at the second highest clip in the NFL. Does that continue with McDonald? Is new OC Ryan Grubb going to get the passing game going like he did with Penix at Washington last year? I wanted to show you his answer from his intro presser in February because there's a lot to chew on here.
Yeah, I think, over the course of my career, we've done both, certainly. I think, when you look at what we did, probably more specifically at UW over the last 2 seasons, we were, accentuating the positives. And there's 3 receivers that are probably going to get drafted this year. And so I think, moving the football through the air was a logical choice. And we are going to be a physical team in Seattle. And over the years, that's something that we've certainly done when the components all matched up. We ran the ball very effectively.
So clearly the run game, still a point of emphasis here. The talk of, what did you call it? Accentuating the positives, I believe. And how we kind of opened things up when he had the trio of Rome and Polk and McMillan at Washington is all Hamilton talks to me about when we're talking about Seattle. It's got to make you think about DK and Lockett and Smith and Jigba, right? It could be like that. I feel like we haven't seen that group fully unleashed yet. And maybe this Grubb dude is the guy that's going to make it happen, given his track record. All roads and all signs and all little footballs that are being pelted at me point to Geno Smith. What is he going to look like in 2024? 2022 Geno again? Is Sam Howell going to push him at all? So every time I get closer to an answer, I have more questions. This is a big mystery of a team, a lot of talent. I'm hearing DK trade rumors. If he's out of there, what does this look like? And then it's like the Pete Carroll aftermath. What is that? How big of a thing was Pete Carroll to what this team was? They're pulling down his quotes, his posters around, like they don't want any pictures of Pete Carroll in the building. What is that? New page or hangover, I guess. If it comes together, playoff potential. What are the playoff odds? Or sorry, what is the
Plus 750.
plus 750. Hamilton, do you like that?
To win the West.
Hammy, do you like that?
There's too many questions for me, and the Niners. I think the Niners, are going to be tough to unseat atop that division. But as far as getting into the playoffs, with the talent they have in that roster, I could see it happening. It really is. It's going to depend on the quarterback situation, like you brought up. Is Geno going to be able to be the guy we saw a couple of years ago again? Yeah. Is Sam Howell going to push them? What happens there? But yeah,
plus 320 to make the playoffs is what I'm being told in my ear. You guys want to go have some fun over at FanDuel Sportsbook? Questions be gone. I just realized my new favorite, because he's literally pelting me with balls, which is unhinged behavior because I have no way to retaliate. I'm going to take it out on you. You're the boss. And you
here we go. Great.
Right. So I decided that anytime I bring you on camera, I'm going to tee you up in a way that you have to be negative.
He wrote this
Thanks. I
segment.
appreciate
I
it.
mean,
I feel like I could just be, like, what about Kyle Shanahan and make you? I'm just gonna. That's gonna be the new game.
Great.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
that's why we didn't call it the upside. It's up and Adams and down and Hammer, okay? Because that's what's happening. Because I'm taking you down the rest of the week. Only
Thanks.
negative comments
Appreciate
out of you. Okay, finally, let's go with the Arizona Cardinals.
what's the question for the Cardinals?
Kat is in so much trouble. She's the most in trouble.
What's the question?
Oh my gosh, my question for the Cardinals is. By the way, if you guys have questions about anything, we're doing a mailbag later in the show. So hit us up in the YouTube chat. Thank you guys. Please subscribe over at Up and Adams Show. You guys can hit me up on Twitter at Up and Adams Show and at Hey K Adams. Thank you guys for watching on FanDuel TV. And of course, go download the app and have some fun. What else are you doing? It's May, like NBA of SchmNBA. That Brunson guy got hurt. It's over. So let's do this thing, and you guys can go have some fun with the NFL already over at FanDuel Sportsbook. The question for the Arizona Cardinals: can this be the breakout year we have been waiting for from Kyler Murray? I know it's an uphill battle. I know it's a loaded division, but if Kyler can play up to his potential, I've been saying this for literally 5 years. I'm not counting the Cardinals out. Okay, Monty, Gannon, Lego. Put him in the best position possible. They're trying. What better thing to do than bring in Marvin Harrison Jr., the big fish? Let's go. They could have traded back and done their thing. They didn't. They transformed this offensive line. They have Paris Johnson. They got Jonah Williams. Ultimately, it is up to Kyler to make it work. He's got the talent. He's got talent around him. Granted, this is a guy who had decap for a bunch of time and it didn't work out, but it really does sound like he's been more locked in, really locked in this offseason. Buda Baker talked about his maturity and leadership to me a couple of months ago. And then there's this bite from Gannon last week that I feel like flew under the radar.
I think his game's going to go to another level. I know it is. I've been extremely pleased with where he's at, what he's doing, the command and the leadership that he's displaying right now. I mean, I think it was the best RVA I've ever seen in my life on Wednesday, truthfully. I had to watch it a couple times. Did my eyes really see what I just saw? Not to put a bunch of pressure on him, but he's doing extremely well.
Okay, this is a 180 from anything that we've heard about Kyler. And we heard from the previous regime, right? And all these little leaks and things that came out. Am I getting sucked into offseason hype? Maybe. Will it translate on the field? I don't know. I'm not going to get caught sleeping on Arizona, and I like an underdog. I like a team that's not talked about, and he really has figured things out. This team is going to be a problem in the West this year. Those are my questions for every team in the NFC West. We have such a great show. We have Mooney on the program, guys. Like Tarvarius White is joining us on the program in just a little bit, but up next, future Hall of Famer, Seahawks legend Sean Alexander is here. 2 thumbs up. That's right. We can't wait to talk to him about all things Seattle. What's Seattle's over under? 7.5?
Over under? Oh, I think they're minus 750, we said, right?
No, for wins.
Yeah. Oh, 7.5. Yeah, that's where it's at.
They're going to
7.5.
win. Hammy, they'll win 7.5 games.
7.5, easy.
Will they win 7.5?
What's that? Sorry, I was talking to Richard.
I have a question.
Who's winning
for you.
7.5?
I have a question for you.
Seahawks?
I'm putting you on the spot. What can
Here we
I say?
go. Awesome. This is great.
What can I do to make you feel negative? Look at this nanny picking up the children's toys off the ground. Look at this. Look at this one. Could we get a wide shot of this? Look at. Yeah, you're picking up cigarette butts and what's it called? Chewed canisters.
I don't know why you're
Don't
taking
come
this
over
out
here,
on me.
Kat, don't even walk over here. Cat's in the most trouble.
Items, throw something different at her every day. Make sure
Cat,
it's larger.
water
make sure it
balloons.
hurts more.
I don't know. Is that waterproof? That screen right there? Negative. Okay, well. I don't even. I think I should get to give you a haircut a la Conrad.
They're having a Jay Buhner day.
I don't know what
You
that
get a
means.
haircut like Jay Buhner, get a free ticket to the Mariners game. Yeah, cut my hair. I want a summer cut. I'd do it on air for you, Kay. Let's do it.
Two things for Hamilton. Hammy. First one's a short one. Brunson. The discipline it must have taken you to not text me about this. I'm very impressed.
Yeah, I mean, I thought about it.
It's over?
I tried to tell you I had concerns, and you made fun of me. But
It's over?
You know,
Is it over for the Knicks?
it's over. I mean, it's over for this year. Hopefully, it's not
They're
over.
out? That was a...
Yeah, that was it. That was Game 7.
I didn't know. I don't know. I know it was at 12:30 yesterday.
Yeah. And he broke his hand, so hopefully it doesn't screw them over for next year too. So, great.
Well, I don't know why you're putting all that negative energy on him all series. It's clearly your fault, but you're a negative guy.
Because I'm a Knicks fan, and I've been through a lot in the last 30 years.
I bet the NBA is so bummed about that.
Yeah.
That was really amazing. Okay, in 50 seconds, I'm seeing a lot of, to my Steelers pump up. A lot of like, did you see the schedule? The second half of the schedule is so bad. Blah, blah, blah. What do you make of that?
I mean, yeah, the schedule is really tough. We did point that out on Thursday as well. But Mike Tomlin has had a lot of obstacles this way, and he keeps finding a way to have a winning record and have them in the playoff race. And again, with the quarterback upgrades and Tomlin there, there's no reason to think they're at least they're not going to be in the mix next year.
Second half of the season schedule is a bit of an eye roll for me.
Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough.
No, it's an eye roll. Like, I'm like, we don't know what's going to happen. You don't know who's going to be. And, like,
That's
they
true.
don't play the Ravens and Bengals every year twice. What are we, like, that's half of the slate.
We're legendary. Alexander breaks a tackle off to the races. Wow. Secondary. We're legendary. Goodbye, Sean Alexander. Touchdown. We're legendary.
In another life, I'd like to come back as Sean Alexander and just truck through people and run through people and be celebrated as an absolute legend who won the 2005 NFL MVP award, rushing for a stupid 1,880 yards and 27 touchdowns. It's so stupid. Three-time Pro Bowler, All-Pro, one of my faves. Sean Alexander, how are you?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
1,880 is crazy.
Yeah, I talk about that year, and now I'm kind of flexing on my sons because they're 8th grade and 6th grade, so they're talking about it. And I say, you guys know I set out like 7 quarters that year. They're like, what? I said, there's 4 games I didn't play in the 4th quarter, and they're like, what are you talking about, Dad? I was like, yeah, that year was crazy.
How often do you pull up a highlight and you just sit back and say, here you go, YouTube?
It's now with my boys and their friends because they're all getting ready to start playing high school football, and like they're starting to talk about players that are good and oh yeah, hey Dad, you think this and yeah, how good was you anyway? I was like, all right.
They're going to be. Are they going to be? Are these sons I'm going to be talking about in a couple of years?
There's a good chance. My oldest son. When Ozzie Newsome is a Bama alum also, so we were doing an Alabama event. He saw him when he was like 6th grade and was like, no, he was 7th grade. He said, yeah, he looks like a pro safety. And so he could be right. Like they've been moving him around and he's got speed where he can play receiver, but he's got the body type that could be a good safety. So I don't know. And then the next one's built just like me. So he's a little bit tall, but not great, not super tall. And so that's Justice. So Joseph and Justice there. But Jedediah, he's the 9-year-old, and he's got a little bit of everything. So so he's going to be fun to watch.
I can't wait to, these are going to be the future stars of tomorrow. I like that you're putting me on them already. Amazing. You had such an incredible career. You were a delight of a YouTube search. It's so fun. You dominated the NFL, especially that 2005 year, winning the NFL MVP at the running back spot. Unbelievable. You are top 20 in rushing yards per game, top 20 in touchdowns. You led the league in yards and touchdowns, not once but twice, Sean. Your numbers stack up against the Hall of Famers, TD especially. Yeah. Your relationship with the Hall of Fame right now, what is it?
I have never done anything with the Hall of Fame except show up at a couple events. I just know all of the greats, Emmett and Barry, they love me. They welcome me in, and everybody gets in the conversation with Thurman Thomas the other day, and they're like, "How to Troy? You ain't got your gold jacket." And I'm like, "No, stop picking on me." So I'm assuming it's going to happen one day. I believe that my numbers are great, and so I'm really thankful for the career I got to have. But yeah, desiring to be in, I do, and so one day it should happen.
Well, you mentioned Thurman. Thurman is in, and he didn't win a Super Bowl. I'm wondering, like, what do you think is keeping you out? Is it that Super Bowl loss? Then thinking back to it, you lose to the Steelers in Super Bowl 40. Sorry to bring it up, love ya. But like, can you imagine that? And that was the middle of your career. Like, is that what's keeping you out of the Hall of Fame, Sean?
I don't know. I feel like, we were also in the middle of, contract negotiations and things like that. It seemed like my best years, that fifth, sixth, seventh year was contract negotiations. And so it was always like, yeah, my lines, look how great your offensive line is. So that was the thing that they were all doing it because they knew I wasn't going to push the envelope. I was going to say, all right, well, hey, eventually we will get to the end of this this rookie contract, and then I will sign for the big one. In Seattle, they finally did sign with the big deal. But for many years, I would have these 200-yard games. They'd be like, "But look at your great offensive line," and I'd have to be like, "I want to keep it humble, but I was the number one player in high school." And then All-American at this university that y'all might have heard of called the University of Alabama. And then we go there and we flip Seattle from a not good program to a great program. But I knew that was all just negotiation talk to kind of muddy the waters a little bit. And then people were talking about it still. Well, then you have this great offensive line. I'm like, my line was good. I would never go against that. But you see what happened when Brady and Randy Moss got to play together, right?
But do you think are you hearing that that's the argument used against you in the Hall of Fame? Like, what are you, really? The offensive line argument? If I got to talk in front of, I would just say, at Sean Alexander's peak, there was no one better. You went there and you carried that Seattle team to the Super Bowl. That's what I would say. Given an opportunity to speak to that room, what are you saying?
I think it's a couple of things. I like to just keep it with numbers. Numbers are numbers.
Yeah.
I played maybe 50 carries my first year, maybe 10 carries my last year. And so that gets you to 7 years. And everybody knows I got hurt my 6th and 7th year, so I probably played half the season. So if you really talk about the 100 touchdowns, the 9,000 yards rushing, it was all done in about 6 years. So now I say, go find the greatest running backs and any running back you want and say, what did they do in 6 years? And compare my numbers with them.
You know what else I'd say? I'd say name one of these Gold Jackets outside of Barry Sanders that didn't have a good offensive line. Everyone had outside of Barry. That's you're going to get there. I can't wait for you to get there. And I hope you're very humble, but I hope you do a little flex. I like that you're humble, but you've got the Madden poster in back of you. That's all you have to show your sons.
It's really fun. It's really fun. I do keep the humble posture, but I remember, Sir Mix-a-Lot's in Seattle. His right-hand man is Kola Kid Sensation, and Kid was, and Sir, I got to hang out with them while I was in Seattle, and they did a rap. And Sir Mix-a-Lot, our Kid Sensation, used to say I was the guy real humble with a slight grin. That was my slight grin.
That's very, very, very well done. I love that. Okay, let's talk a little bit Seattle. We've covered the Hall of Fame. You're in. It's got to happen. I will sneak into that room. I will take that room by force if I have to. But we're talking all NFC West today, and I sort of posed a question for each team. If I turn it over to you, you're hosting the show. What would you say is your biggest question regarding this Seahawks team?
Anytime you get a new coach, there is a little bit of a buy-in. And so I think it's like if they get through those first 4 games with some positive victories, some big wins, if they even upset somebody, you might see them go really explosive, Pete Carroll style. You know what I mean? But if they lose, then you might lose the guys that aren't ready to buy in yet. And so that's the difference between pro and college. College, everybody's trying to get to the pros where you just go for it. You know what I mean? But in the pros, they're all still, even though they're a coach, you're still like, well, why would we trust you? Mm-hmm. And so I feel like that's going to be the biggest thing is, will the guys go all in for the new coaching system, which is total opposite of how Pete Carroll did it, and yet successful at the same time. I'm actually having these crazy withdrawals with both my college and my pro team because they've got new coaches this year, and that's going to be the case for both teams.
The Mike McDonald era, it's here. It's very different. He'll be calling the defense. You're saying that's the biggest question. Have you heard anything? I know you're close to the organization. Mm-hmm. Is there a reason for me to believe in Mike McDonald and what they're doing here? I'm looking at the even FanDuel Sportsbook, 7.5 total wins behind the Niners and Rams in odds to win the NFC West. And the Carroll thing cannot be understated. This is the first Seahawks team that doesn't have his paws all over it since 2009.
Yeah, it's since I retired. It's nuts. You know what I mean? So it feels weird, totally. But everybody says great things about Mike. Everybody says that when it gets to game time, he's going to be amazing, and all the players will fall in love with his system and will go play high. And so I won't be shocked if they do go, win 9, win 10 games. But at the same time, it just doesn't feel like it at the beginning. But if the course goes the way it always seems like it has for him, it seems like players will play for him and play at a high level. And so I feel good about that.
A lot was made, I don't know if you've seen this, that, the Seahawks, I don't know if it's McDonald or whoever, they're removing Pete Carroll from the facility. There's this whole thing where they're taking down the slogans, even pictures. And a lot of Seahawks fans think it's disrespectful to the history. Others think that's what coaches do. They come in and they change everything and they make it their own. You weren't there with Pete Carroll. How do you view that?
He won't remove everything. I think some people like to get it really exciting, but there is some things that it's a Pete flavor, the basketball goal, the pictures, if you really want to grow your own thing, you gotta remove and replace, you know what I mean? It's so you gotta just give Mike a chance to do it his way. Pete was definitely totally different than Coach Holmgren, you know what I mean? And we got there and didn't finish it. He comes in, shakes everything up, and they win. And it's well, man, you know what? We built the foundation to know what championship football looks like. And then Pete added his flavor and they go and win. Well, now Pete's there. They've kind of run their errand. The boom is gone. Russ is gone. And, Marshawn is gone, and so they've had a couple of guys that try to repeat something like that. It didn't win another one. But now it's all right, well, Mike's here. Shift it up a little bit. Foundation's still there. Championship's now even greater. All right, Mike, take us to another level, and hopefully you can.
I mean, Holmgren being the opposite of Pete Carroll is understated. I think I sat next to Nate Burleson, as you know, for years and years, and there were a few names that would pop up where Nate would be he has that Belichickian effect where it's oh, Holmgren, Holmgren was a scary guy.
No nonsense.
No, I know. You're a Holmgren guy. Listen, he's got to be beating that table for your Hall of Fame. He's got to get in that room and talk to those nerdy reporters. I want to ask you about...
I think it'd be really cool if Mike and I go in the same year. That'd be really cool.
Is that possible? Have you guys talked about that?
No, because... Mike he'd always tell me he coached, Joe Montana and Steve Young and Brett Favre. And I'd always pick on him. I'd say, hey, you keep telling me stories with, the running back from Green Bay. What was his name? I forgot his name, but he would tell me all kind of stories with him. And I'd be like, Mike, I'm going to eat everything up. And he'd tell me he caught 5, Levens, I think it was. Levens. He said, he caught the ball 5 times in one game. And so I made a point to catch 6 receptions in back-to-back games. Man, I'm open, you know what I mean? And so everything that he thought, Darcy Levens, I think was his name. And so whatever Mike put in front of me, I wanted to just go gobble up. And so we had that kind of love to hate because he would always want to say, well, here's a challenge. And I would just try to destroy it, so.
Oh my God, you have to get in before him then. You can't go in with him. You got to get in before him.
Before him would be much better. I would love it.
We'll
but
see.
One team is cool. I think it'd be a great Seahawk moment.
Yeah, I got, you mentioned Alabama 19 times in this interview, so we have to ask you about your friend Derrick Henry, an alum from Alabama, of course. He's playing in his 9th season. He's now in Baltimore. We see how the Ravens season ends last year. My take was, if they have Derrick Henry, they're running the ball and they might be beating those Chiefs in that game. How good is the fit, and can he bring a championship to Baltimore?
I think so. I think he's really that good. He's such a special, dominant athlete, and so he trains like he's a little guy, always trying to stay in there to stay fit, what I mean? But he also throws so much weight around, weight room, ball machines, I think that his body can still do it for a few years. And so, I think he's going to do something really special.
Week 18, he passed you on the all-time rushing yards list.
Yeah, I knew it was going to happen. He did it with our high school record. I passed Emmett. He passes me. You know what I mean? I'm like, really? And he gets to Bama. And then, I had I had all of Bama's records, and then he passes me, and then he gets the pros. Now he's called me up, hey, Unc, I think I might get it this year. And I look at him, I'm like, yeah, you probably will, and he does. So, so I'm proud of him. You know what I mean? Like, one of the things that I've always wanted to do was be a part of a great legacy, whether it's high school, college, or pro, and be able to pass the torch. And so I'm okay that I get to pass the torch to somebody, as long as when I'm there, I leave my mark. And so when they say, oh, man, here was when Sean had it, man, he lit this place up. And then I can go pass that to somebody else. It's like a singer. I want to go on the stage and rip up the place and say, okay, you go after me, though. See how they do.
You're a great guy. Like, you're passing the torch. But, are you still the best? Are you still the best? Sure. The greatest Alabama quarterback or running back? And I'm looking at the numbers. He's now only 11 touchdowns away from passing you for 8th all time. Are you still the greatest Alabama running back?
Well, as humble as I can say, yes.
Yeah. Just wanted to hear you say it.
Yeah. No, I think that when I was at Alabama, we did not have the offensive firepower as many of the other guys that played with Saban's crew had. And so I think that as much as I love my quarterbacks and receivers at every single level, what I mean? If I would have ever had somebody with that kind of juice, we don't know what I would have been able to do.
Good answer. One last one for you very quickly. I want to talk about the College Football Freshman Player of the Year award. And it became a thing in 2019. It became the Sean Alexander Award. How amazing is that? The 2023 winner was Bama DB Caleb Downs. 2022 was Drake May. I mean, this is incredible. You've gotten to know Drake and have followed him closely. How do you think the Patriots should approach him?
You know what? So even with the award, it's been so amazing. Trevor went number 1 overall. Drake goes 3. Brock went 13 overall this year. I'm so proud of those two boys. Those relationships were all wonderful. But I would say for Drake, he is a guy, 21 years old, that wants to be great. I mean, above bar, excellent. And so I would say, like, hey, set the stage for him to succeed. And because he's full of confidence, but still has the 21-year-old insecurity, like, okay, I think I'm going to do this great. And he'll tell him, I'm going to do it great, but he's not sure. So give him all the little wins he can, because when he puts it all together, by the time he's like 24, 25, he'll be one of the best in the league if they build him up right, because he's got all the tools that great quarterbacks definitely have to have.
You talked about legacy. Not much better than having that prestigious of an award named after you. It's pretty good for your legacy. You should have just said it the Derrick Henry question. I have an MVP. Where's Derrick Henry's? Like, I feel like I'm your hype girl, Sean. I got you in this.
You are.
You're the best. Thank you for coming on the show. Have a great rest of the, I would say, off season. I don't know. We need to get you back on the field. I need to get you back. I need more highlights. And if your kids need to talk to somebody, have them call me. Okay?
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll have Stephen A. You all can get in a conversation. Push me over.
I got you. You and Holmgren going at the same. I can't. Holmgren 2-time Super Bowl champ. Like, I get it. I just looked it up. All right, you're the best, Sean. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, we got Mooney on the program. This is gonna be great. Now, how's Mooney this morning? Control room. How's he feeling?
The strong Charvarius Ward. It's Ward all the way. Incomplete. Ward on the coverage. Intercepted by Mooney Ward.
I've never met my next guest. I'm so excited. He's a Super Bowl champion, the star cornerback for the San Francisco 49ers. He's coming off the best season of his career, which led to his first All-Pro and Pro Bowl selections. So please welcome Charvarius Mooney Ward. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm great. Not as great as you. You just had a birthday. What'd you do?
I had a little party back at home, and I also just opened up a car wash back home. So I had my grand opening my day after my birthday. So that was pretty cool too.
That's amazing. You also went on the safari. Are you not going to talk to me about that? And happy belated birthday to you. Tell me about Zimbabwe. Give me some things that you experienced that were your faves.
It was amazing just to see all the animals. The big five. I went fishing for the first time. I saw lions mating. I saw lions hunting buffalo and all that. So it was pretty cool. I had a good time.
I went on a safari a couple of years ago, and I mean, just the animals eating each other was wild. Did you see any of that?
Yeah, I saw them eating it was a buffalo. And when they finished eating the buffalo, I think we went back there the next day, and I had picked up like the buffalo horns. And that was heavy as hell. It was like 150 pounds, the buffalo skull. And I also like a zebra leg. They ate the zebra, they just left like one little small leg. I was like, damn, it's kind of crazy out there. So I was thinking like the zoo might not be too bad as I thought it was, but they like kind of safe in the zoo in the wild. You know, everybody feeding for themselves.
That's a good spin for the zoos across the nation. I always think, I think it's like ruthless out there. Like that, it is insane. Did you say that you saw lions? You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw them do it. It was like we sat there and watched the lions for like I think it was like an hour straight, and they did it like 5 times within that 1 hour. I was like, damn, like it's crazy. Like they got hella stamina. It was wild.
Circle of life, Mooney.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I love getting to know you. Let's talk a little football now, and really happy belated birthday. You got a big year here. You had a big year. You led the league in passes defended, career high in interceptions. Congratulations on bringing an interception to the house for the first time in your career. Would you please walk me through this play against the Cardinals? Let's take a look.
So the play against the Cardinals, I think it was 4th down. I don't know if it was the first, second quarter, but we was in a version of our cover 3, and I saw the tight end. He was like wide open. Nobody had threatened my zone like deep. I had deep third. Nobody came in my zone, and I saw the tight end kind of like sit down. And I saw him wide open, and Kyler Murray just cocked it and threw it, and I hopped in front of it, and I took it to the house. It was an amazing feeling. That was the best feeling I had since my baby been born. I swear, like that was an amazing feeling. I'm trying to get like 4 or 5 of them this year. Ooh. I feel like I got the talent and ability to do it. So I'm gonna challenge myself to do that this year.
How many is Kyler gonna give you?
Hopefully he give me one a game. Shit, hopefully he give me can I curse? I'm sorry, just curse.
Yes,
but
go for it.
Hopefully I get one a game. Kyler, I don't care who throwing the ball. Kyler, it don't matter who throwing the ball. I'm trying to pick out every quarterback we play.
Mooney, you got Kyler twice at the Bird's Nest. 10 tackles there. 10 tackles there in 2022. You visit Arizona again week 18. What is it about the Bird's Nest that has you balling out when you play there?
They just an op, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody we play on Sunday is an op. I feel like I'm a big dog. No matter who we play, I'm going to go out there and do my thing. So, you know, like you said, we play the Cardinals again in Arizona. I'm going to try to put on a show every time we go out there, the whole team.
I mean, if I'm watching that highlight is crazy. The speed. I didn't know you had it like that.
I got a little gas now. You're not familiar with my game? I got gas now.
The speed once you get the ball. My God, you are out. See ya.
Yeah, I'll be sliding. I got a little speed.
You get 2 more matchups against DK Metcalf and the Seahawks. I looked at it. Week 6 and 11.
Hey, everybody love that matchup. I don't know why they hype that matchup up so much. It's a good matchup though. He a big dog. I'm a big dog. I'm CB1. He wide receiver 1. He got me good 1 year, I think, in the playoffs, and I had a lot of success against him as well. So, you know, I look forward to that matchup every time we play them. I know I got to come, you know, with my best game that week because I'm going to get a lot of targets and I'm going to be following them around. So, you know, I always look forward to that matchup.
Why are you surprised people like it so much? There's always something going on between you two.
Because every time we play them for the first time, it'd be on Thursday night. You know, that's like a primetime game. Last year, it was on Thanksgiving. And I cut up on Thanksgiving. Like, I went crazy. And I think everybody kind of like, damn, that was like, damn, Mooney can play this guy pretty good. So I think, you know, that's why.
There's if I Google DK Metcalf, there's a lot of trade rumors to take him out of the division. How would that make you feel?
How would that make me feel?
Mm-hmm. Would you miss him?
I wouldn't really care, to be honest. I'm worried about the Niners, man. I'm just worried about the Niners and what we're doing over there in the Bay.
So give Seattle fans confidence they can take it to the Niners or push the Niners.
That they can take it to us?
No, that you guys can take it to them, that you guys can push them. The Niners are the challenge. What is there? Is there something that you're like, whether it's sorry,
Honestly,
that you can get
Miss
past?
Kate,
No, I'm saying
Miss Kate, okay, go ahead, finish.
Just sorry, Mooney.
I'm sorry.
What makes you think that you guys are just going to come back and be able to be dominant over Seattle, over a Rams team that was feisty down the stretch? Like, give Niners fans some faith there.
I think we're the best team in the NFL outside of the Super Bowl champions. I don't think nobody really messing with us right now. I feel like we clearly got the most talent in the league. It's just when you go up against the Michael Jordan of the NFL, which is Patrick Mahomes. That's a tough matchup. But I don't think anybody really can beat us outside of Patrick Mahomes bringing his A game like he did in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you got a contract year, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying to get that bag, Miss K.
How are you feeling about it? This isn't the first time you've gotten several bags, yeah?
The one I'm currently on right now, that's been my biggest deal so far, 3 year, 40-some million. But I just got to go out there, have my best year, be better than last year, and all of that to take care of itself. Hopefully I get that bag next year. We'll see.
I did a lot of talking about the Niners earlier in the show about the mental part of it, having to get off the mat. Now, you weren't there for, Kyle Shanahan has 3 losses leading in the fourth quarter in Super Bowls. It's got to be heartbreaking. You've got guys like Debo Kittle. They know the feeling of a Super Bowl loss. You know a win and a loss. Does the loss affect you more, and can it be good? I
think so. It make you a little hungrier. Because obviously you got to change something because you didn't win the Super Bowl. You can't go in there and be the exact same team and do the exact same stuff and expect to win the Super Bowl the next year. So I think the losses, they make you stronger. They make you go harder. They challenge you to be better at something. Maybe we don't know what we got to be better at yet, but obviously we got to go in there and work and figure it out to the throne of champions.
You got OTAs, all that's going on. They start today. Are you full go? Or are we still rehabbing?
I'm still rehabbing. So I'm trying to, get back up to running full speed and everything, like you saw me in that pick 6 clip. But I feel good. Body feel way better than it did a couple months ago. Even at the end of last season, I was hurting pretty bad. Like my back, growing the abdomen was hurting me pretty bad. But I fought through it. I pushed through it. So I'm almost at 100%. I'll be ready for training camp for sure.
Amazing. I remember going to that Super Bowl. I was surprised you were on the injury report. Or that you weren't, you weren't on the injury report. And it was like, what happened here? So I'm just going to ask you point blank. We're so removed from it now. How much pain were you actually in?
How much pain was I in? During the game, I'm in no pain because, your adrenaline rushing, your juices pumping, you're going to feel good during the game. But, throughout the week, it's a lot of maintenance stuff that you got to do to keep your body up to par. So, I was in pain, but I wasn't walking around damn near handicapped. I was good enough to play. That's what I say. I was good enough to play for sure.
And I love that you'll be ready for training camp. That's amazing. And we talked about the Chiefs, of course. You get to face them week 7. I imagine last week when you saw that. It's in San Francisco. It's it's in Santa Clara. You circle that one. What are the thoughts?
The thoughts. We gotta beat them boys, man. They've been tearing our ass up for a while. We gotta beat them. They the champs. I feel like that's the only team that's been giving us problems. So, we gotta go out there and try to beat them boys. I got a question for you. Who did you think was gonna win in the Super Bowl? Did you take us? Or did you take Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs?
I took San Francisco until the fourth quarter.
Damn.
Fourth quarter. Listen, when that decision to give the ball, Kyle's decision, you can't talk about it, but it was a little bit of a and then I just feel like,
What decision? To take the ball?
Yeah. It's Michael Jordan, though. Fourth quarter, a little time left. It's hard to not say Patrick's going to get it done.
You talking about the decision going into overtime, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But you got to think about it, though, Miss Kate. At the end of the fourth quarter, the defense was on the field for a very long time.
Yes.
So if we would have went right back out there, it probably could have been the same result. You know what I mean? So, hindsight is always 20/20.
So were you too tired to go out there? Being hurt as you were on adrenaline, you wouldn't have brought it to a 10. Come on, what are you saying? Y'all couldn't have sealed it? What are you talking about?
We lost. I mean, I would have been ready. I would have been ready if we'd have had to go out there for sure, but we lost. They won. That's all, That's all.
Mr. Mooney, I feel like I remember hearing something from you said that San Francisco is better for you in quote every possible way.
Look, I said that, but I love Kansas City. I had a hell of a time. Like from the training staff, from the people in the people in the lunchroom, all the janitors, the coaching staff, the players. Like I made a whole lot of friendships out there. I just said that because that was the first question they asked me when I got on the podium. So I was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? They ain't let me get tired of like simmer down and calm down and get comfortable. They threw that question at me and I said what I said, but Kansas City was a great spot for me. Like I loved it there. I had a hell of a time in Kansas City.
I figured you'd say so. I wanted to give you sort of the
they ain't want me to leave. And Reed was calling me every day like leave up to crazy. But like I said, they didn't have no money. They couldn't pay me. So I was like, I'm finna go to San Francisco, which is a great fit for me. And they paid me. I love everything about Kansas City, and I love everything about San Francisco.
I think it was more Chiefs fans. He was just saying more that he likes San Francisco. What is he supposed to say?
Man, they be calling me a traitor. They be calling me a bomb. This and that. I'm like, damn. Like what I do to y'all? I try my hardest out in Kansas City, but y'all still want to hate on the brother. Like what's wrong? What's going on?
Y'all will settle it week 7.
Yeah, we will. We will. We'll see about it. It's gonna be a heavyweight fight. Like they the big dogs of the league. Like they don't want to pass through Super Bowls. They got Hall of Famers on both sides of the ball. We do as well, but we just haven't won the last game of the season yet, which is the Super Bowl. So shit, we'll see. Week 7, it's gonna be a heavyweight fight.
Well, it's all about the whole world's about Travis Kelce, right? But then I look at George Kittle and I'm like, he had 1,000 yards last year. He looked great. This weekend, I don't know if you saw this, George Kittle, Brock Purdy were shotgunning beers on stage at a country concert. Luke Combs there. I noticed in this video, Brock doesn't even take a sip of a beer.
That's what I was about to say. I was about to say, I expect George Kittle to do something like that, but I ain't know Brock Purdy drink at all, though.
He just kept handing them to George. I love this. You've played with Travis and George. Who would you rather go to a concert with, Kelce or Kittle?
I'm gonna say my team. I'm gonna say my teammate, George. That's my locker mate. That's my dog. I went to WrestleMania with George Kittle. We had a hell of a time. So yeah, George Kittle. Both of those guys. They funny in their own way. They got different personalities, but both of them like alpha dogs. They, hella fun to be around and everything like that. So, but I'm gonna say my teammate George Kittle.
Messy locker room or clean locker?
George. He a clean locker guy. He get a lot of packages because everybody loves George Kittle. They send him free stuff, but he always keep his shoes and his cleats out of my way. So George my guy. He pretty clean.
I got a couple more questions for you. And I love meeting you, and you're very honest, and I really enjoy that. Debo is similarly very honest. It's very I love this locker room, and I hope you guys win the Super Bowl. I'm looking at week 1. There's a Sauce thing there. Everybody's going to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
What's up with you and Sauce?
I never met Sauce. I don't know Sauce. I never talked to the man. But it was just like, you got to think, Miss K. So we had just lost the Super Bowl. I get on Twitter and I see a bunch of people tweeting about, our team losing the Super Bowl. In my head, I'm thinking like, you in the NFL as well, like you didn't make it to the Super Bowl. You didn't even make it to the playoffs. So, why you talking about our team? But as I look back on it, I realized he was just giving this opinion. He really didn't say anything bad about the 49ers. So I tried to take the tweet down so the shit didn't blow up, but obviously everybody blew up. But I don't have no beef with Sauce. If I did, I'll just tell, B.A. and Debo to handle that for me because I'm not a receiver lining up against Sauce. I think he's a hell of a player and one of the best young corners in the game. He definitely a big dog. So, but I look forward to playing this week 1 and seeing B.A. and Debo, try to handle that little business for me.
Yeah, you're going to take the ball from Aaron Rodgers probably.
Hopefully, A-Rod throw me one. That's a Hall of Fame. That's a legend.
That's a
I'm
legend.
trying to pick him off and have him sign the ball for me.
How do you pick off Aaron Rodgers? What's the secret?
How?
Yeah.
He gotta get my opportunity. I'm pretty sure I'm probably gonna be following Garrett Wilson around. That's his name, right?
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna follow Garrett around. So he they big dog. I'm the big dog in the city. So we gonna see, Miss K.
Would you take if you ran one back from Aaron Rodgers? Would you ask him to sign the ball?
Absolutely. After the game, on the field, I'm asking to sign it right there and there.
Do you know?
I think Aaron Rodgers is a pretty cool guy. I played against him a couple times, and when I was in Kansas City, yeah, he a hell of a player. Like
you've never gotten one off of him though. I'm manifesting.
No, it was crazy. I never got one, but I had hella opportunities that I didn't capitalize on. But I'm a different man now, different players, not capitalize on the opportunities now. So come on, throw the ball my way.
Now's the time. I mean, contract year, that'd be a nice way. Prime time, kick off the season, week 1. So just so everyone knows, you're going to ask about Sauce and Ward, but it's about Aaron Rodgers and Mooney. Okay, that's what I hope everybody starts asking about leading up to that game. Last one here. I know you love to read. You crush like 13 books every offseason, I hear. Colleen Hoover. I had never heard of her. I'm on Amazon, I'm looking. Tell me why I should buy a Colleen Hoover novel.
My favorite one from Colleen Hoover is obviously Verity. I think everybody know that. But it's just like the suspense, the romance, the stories she tell. It's just like you never want to put that book down. I'll be reading one of her books and I'll finish like 6-7 chapters and I'll be like, I'm done after this chapter. But every time that chapter ends, I keep going on and on and on until I'm damn near done with the book in like 2 days. So I just feel like it catches your attention. She writes great books, great novels, and I'm one of her biggest fans for sure.
So I'm looking right now, it's a young adult romance. Is it like more action than The Lions in Zimbabwe kind of stuff, or?
Nah, The Lions in Zimbabwe, that's like one of one. You can't beat that. Like you go to Africa, Miss K. I don't know if you ever been to Africa.
I did, yeah.
The hospitality out there is like top tier, right?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's like you're on a different planet, and then you sort of realize what's really important in life.
Exactly. Like it's nobody out there with jewelry, nobody out there with makeup.
But you're telling me you're reading Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover.
Did I read that book? I think I did read that book. I'm pretty sure I did read that book. Tell me the plot. What's the plot of that book? I think I read that book this year.
I don't know, but it sounds like it's a romance novel. Reminders of Him, a novel. I don't know. We gotta go. But Mooney, love meeting you. Best of luck to you. Go get that bag.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ward. Bye.